All right, Will, sorry about the hair this week. You're just going to have to deal with all of this.
I think it's a good look.
It's another episode of The Big Three. Some bad news this week for a Tennessee coach. Baseball coach Dave Serrano actually resigned before the final series with Missouri kicked off. It's been a rough 6 years for him at the helm of the Tennessee baseball program. Good decision, bad decision, and were you surprised by it?
I was surprised it didn't work. I was not surprised that Dave Serrano resigned. It just goes to show you sometimes the sure thing isn't a sure thing. I mean, if ever there was a coach that Tennessee's hired, or any college has hired in any sport, Dave Serrano would have been the one that I thought would work. If you look at two different teams to the College World Series, never got it worked out here, though.
Before Tennessee had actually hired Rick Barnes, you could make an argument that Dave Serrano was the best resume hire that Tennessee had ever had.
Yeah.
And so it is still a head scratcher that it wouldn't work. I think his philosophy change came a couple years too late. He needed to realize that the SEC was a big time power league before he did, and staff changes. Sometimes guys do not translate from a non-power league to a Power 5 league, and I think that's what caught up with Dave Serrano. Do want to give him kudos, though, for bringing Todd Helton back into the program.
And he owned everything at the end as well, which I respect that.
All right, so when you're looking at playoffs going on right now, first we got to touch on old Smashville. The Predators, now they dropped the game last night, got it to overtime, but still dropped it. Series is tied now at 2 games apiece. Will the Preds make the Stanley Cup Finals?
I think they make the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't think they win the Stanley Cup Finals. Like, this is a very streaky team. Sometimes, though, when the streak isn't going for them or when they don't have momentum, you'll see them just kind of lose their grasp on fundamentals. I don't understand why they do it, why it necessarily happens, but you just see mental lapses with this team. At some point in time, it's going to burn them, but right now I do think they get past Anaheim.
How many more country music stars are shown now in the pregame?
All of them. That's how many. All of them.
Everyone's just going to flock.
Conway Twitty will be out there somehow.
Oh, yes. My dad will be watching for that. Also, looking at the NBA, we've had some big-time blowouts. You've had the Cavs skate through unscathed so far, all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Warriors are just dunking fools left and right. Now Kawhi Leonard out. It looks like they've got an easy path to the Western Conference Finals, or through the Western Conference Finals. Have the NBA playoffs been exciting, or have they been boring?
The games themselves have been good, right? Like, the basketball's been exciting. The storylines haven't. I mean, if you look at the overall narrative as far as who's going to play in the NBA Finals, Cavs versus Warriors, we knew it coming in. We know that's what it's going to be now, and it really hasn't been that compelling as far as those two teams being tested. But if you look at the Rockets-Thunder series, if you look at the Celtics-Wizards series, incredibly compelling basketball games. And that one, it just doesn't necessarily build to the larger narrative.
Yeah, the two big storylines have been Greg Popovich just going off on Zaza Pachulia.
Saying crazy things.
And then number 2, everything surrounding Isaiah Thomas. So that did enhance that Wizards series. But because of the foregone conclusion that we all assume it's going to be Warriors versus the Cavs for the 3rd year in a row, I think a lot of people are labeling this boring.
Yeah, they do.
It's time for a little extra credit. The Harris Interactive poll didn't decide the BCS national champion this year. They did decide, though, who the best burger in the land belongs to. Will West, In-N-Out Burger was actually dethroned. The new champion, Five Guys and Fries. How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with it. I actually, if I'm choosing fast food or fast casual, Five Guys is the one that I will go with. Shout out to Smashburger as an honorable mention, but that's the one that I would go with when it comes to that. I have never had In-N-Out Burger, but above Shake Shack and the ones I have had, I'll take Five Guys.
I'm going to go hands down with the orange and white kings of burgers myself. Whataburger. I still don't understand why we don't have one in Knoxville. It's orange. It's white. It would be perfect on the Strip, and it would be delicious in my mouth and belly. I want some Whataburger here. Somebody get on that. That's going to wrap it up for us this week. This is The Big Three.